All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a hot edition of the Rock and Roll Geezers show. Yeah, we're steaming here in the upper Midwest. We're about 94 degrees right now, but it's a balmy 94. So, it is what it is. But welcome, again, we're the weekly rock news outlet for you, if you so desire. And got a doozy of a show coming up this week. Ozzy can't stay out of the news, and this doesn't surprise me, but it's really wild. We'll talk about that. A goofy band called Red Jumpsuit uh, J- Jumpsuit Arthritis or whatever the hell their name is. We'll talk about them. Kelly Osbourne in the news. Rockin' Rockin' Rod Stewart. We're gonna talk about him. A legendary musician refusing her Hall of Fame honors, and we'll talk about that with some Beatles kids doing some stuff, and a retirement of really a legend in the radio industry. And I'm your host Murph. I'll tell you what, we're so hot. It's going to be a bizarre show because things are just hot. It's just crazy out there, and I'm sure Doc, I'm sure Aurora is toasting under this heat too, my man. What do you say about that?
Oh, it's a hot one, man. Like 7 inches from the midday sun. Oh, dude, it is so hot, man. Little change of venue just because it is so hot in my normal rock and
Mm,
roll dungeon there, I guess. So
sure.
yeah, trying to make do and we'll pop on out here. So yeah, hope you're getting some relief from the heat because we got a really hot show. No,
Oh, oh,
we do though. It's a great show this week. A great batch of stories from the ridiculous to the sublime, as they say, and
do that.
starting off with kind of the ridiculous, quite honestly.
Well, it's all about Ozzy. This Ozzy guy. Ozzy Osbourne, from the Good People of Far Out. I got this off of the Good People of Far Out. Ozzy Osbourne is going to sell iced tea infused with his DNA for 450 per can. Now that's the headline, Doc, but that's sort of confusing because apparently the cans are already crushed, so there's no iced tea in it. Apparently his
Yeah. They say it's
DNA,
infused with his DNA,
yeah,
which
yeah, they
I
saw.
remember I had an uncle that infused his DNA with some stuff in it at Taco Bell one time. He got fired for that, but
Wow, but yeah,
Anyway, yeah, he's just drank out of the cans. It's not infused with it. You're thinking, did he spit in it? What do
yeah. Oh,
jizz in it?
ooh,
How did he infuse
ooh,
his DNA?
wow.
And no, he drank from the can. So I guess therefore his DNA is, I always see
Yeah.
that like on Law and Order where they get that from the crooks when they take a drink from the cup of
Oh
water or
yeah,
whatever.
CSI
So,
Miami.
so I guess you can get for $450. You can get an empty can that Ozzy drank out of, and it's in a nice display case. It's got autograph on it and all that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah,
but for
yeah.
$450, and then someday when it becomes legal and easy to do, I guess we can clone Ozzy. I suppose
Oh
if we get
boy, that's
yeah,
the last thing this world needs. But
right.
anyway, at Tinley Park, our local music establishment and Torianism, they started carrying this water called Liquid Death, cans of water. Liquid Death are like $6 a can, and
Yeah,
that's the company that's doing
yeah. It's
this.
canned water. Yeah,
The bizarre collaboration between the Black Sabbath frontman and the canned drinks company Liquid Death follows a video Osbourne made with their powder electrolyte mix, which encouraged people not to inhale the product. That's good. Yeah. So subsequently, the company they've teamed up with the classic rocker, this time selling 10 iced tea cans that he had drunk out of and that have been sealed to preserve his DNA inside. I got a picture of his DNA. You want to see it here? Yeah, I do. Look at it. But it's so old and crusty. Look at it. It's just horrifying. It's like, yeah, yeah, I've had enough
well,
of
yeah. He's got
life.
Parkinson's, and there's
Listen.
all kinds of
And
who knows
then
what he's got
I
going on
thought,
in there.
well, he's all wasted. And I said, well, Murph, why don't you look up your own DNA just for shits and grins? Sure enough, there it is, man. Fabulous musician's DNA flying through the atmosphere. Yeah, yeah. As opposed to Ozzy's. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm gigging this Sunday, man. Yeah. So yeah, good old Ozzy. It just really oh jeez. It's so horrible. Can't he just stop this nonsense? What's next? I mean, that this is a new one, I must say. They come up with all sorts of weird stuff, but this is
Yeah.
a real doozy, and explaining the concept behind a product launch, Liquid Death said, once technology and federal law permit, fans can use this DNA to try to clone Ozzy in the future and enjoy him for hundreds of years
Yeah,
to
there you go.
come. And then
Yeah,
in
just like a
response,
Jurassic Park or whatever. Yeah, we'll
yeah,
have a park
yeah,
with Ozzy's all over the place.
Ozzy's
Yeah.
in amber. Yeah. In response, Ozzy simply added, clone me, you bastards. Oh, God. And yeah, with the company also noting that the Prince of Darkness has graced each can with his signature. So good grief. Good. Why would you want to clone this numbskull? Really? I mean, if he wasn't if he didn't somehow get super lucky, being a total wasteoid back in the day and have a metal voice, gosh, I don't know. I don't know what he'd be, gosh, I can't even
Oh, it
imagine.
would just been a factory worker in Birmingham, no doubt. No, but
Birmingham,
yeah,
England,
that's what
yeah.
kills me. It's $450 a can. So they have 10 cans.
Ooh,
Apparently, that's all Ozzy could put away in a
the
sitting. I guess
muster.
is 10
Yeah.
cans of it. Yeah.
Muster.
So
Oh, Ozzy, I
why
swear.
not?
Yeah, at this point, what the heck? And of course, yeah, they're still talking about how he's going to try to go on, July 5th. Boy, that's coming right around the corner, ain't it, Doc?
Oh yeah, 2 weeks.
Holy smokums. I better get my order in, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. So, yeah, here it says, however, the much anticipated concert has not come without its controversies, mainly regarding the condition of the frontman's health, as his battle with Parkinson's disease means it is unknown how well he will be able to perform on the day. Despite this, Osborne said in a recent interview, if my God wants me to do the show, I'll do it. Boy, they're starting to really grab for straws now. So,
Yeah, right. Now
good
he's
luck.
putting it on God. Come on, Ozzy.
Yeah. How dare you? Oh
I think
my
he's got more
God.
important stuff to do, man.
I see. Oh gosh. Oh, these. Here we go. Let me see. Where are they? Let's get them up on the screen. Oh boy, look at these soy boys. Shame on this guy with the beard. Shave it off, because you're making a mockery. That's right. I said it. A mockery of the
Looks
beard.
fake.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's not a beard brother. He's not a He's not an. I don't consider him a brotherhood of the beard. This is very bizarre. Never heard of these guys ever. And poet, that lead singer, he's just got a punchable face. He just does. I'm sorry, but anyway, these guys. Well, you know what Frank Zappa said about. You know what Frank Zappa said, Doc?
Any publicity is good
Good
publicity.
publicity. And here they go.
Yeah,
These guys I've never heard of, but now I've heard of them. Here's a headline from the good people, our good people from Enemy. The red jumpsuit apparatus, nice name, are banning Trump supporters from attending shows. Quote, I don't want you there. If you voted for Donald Trump, don't come to my shows ever. Not just these 4 years. Oh, jeez. Here we go with politics. How much in politics? Politics and music. Jeez. I think we talked about this a bit. Like you said, I think you're right, Doc. I think it's nothing more than just a shot to get publicity in the
absolutely.
nationwide press. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, they were kind of around, kind of started getting a little traction in the early 2000s. I remember they were out. I'd heard of them back then, but
Yeah.
so yeah, now excuse me. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's talking. I saw the video, and he's talking about they're not good Christians, and he's dude. So that's being a good Christian is the to exclude
Don't come
your
and listen to
neighbor.
our message. Don't come and listen.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're a Christian band, huh?
Well,
Apparently,
at least he's a Christian. I don't know if how much of a Christian
well, how
band they
much of a
are, but
Christian would you be? You don't even want
yeah,
to really just stay away. Yeah, I can
yeah.
see Jesus telling the people, just stay away, just
Yeah,
stay
don't
away,
try to
people.
understand your enemy. Yeah,
Fish and
shun
loaves
them.
on the
Yeah, yeah.
mound,
That,
Don't go, get away. Bug off, man. This numbnuts. Yeah, he's quoted as saying, You are not allowed to come to my shows. I don't want you there. Don't come to my shows. It's awesome that you love Face Down, whatever the hell that is. It's not for you. It's not your song. It's not your song. If you voted for Donald Trump, don't come to my shows or ever. Just not these 4 years. Don't come to my shows because you're going to hear a lot of woke propaganda and you're going to hear the actual words of Jesus. Wow,
Yeah.
this is crazy. You're going to see a lot of acceptance from all areas of life, except you people. No, you're not accepted. This is crazy. This is insane from all areas of life and races.
And the
And you're
hypocrisy
just
is
going
totally
to see
lost
a
on them.
lot of harmony. That's not what you're about. Oh, man. Don't come. Refunds are available forever. Don't come. Goodbye. Jeez.
You know what? I'll give him that. At least he's giving them refunds. You know, hey, you know,
Wow.
here's your money back.
That's so Christian of him. Well, I've got, jeez, whatever. Well, I'm not going to go there. Nope, nope, nope. We've learned, yeah, it's best just to stay away. Let him burn his own bridge, idiot. But yeah, you never deny anybody. Jeez, especially if you're supposed to be a Christian. Wow. That's the last thing a Christian's
Nah,
supposed to do.
just like I said, it's just a publicity stunt on a band that's seen its
Um,
better days and just trying to make a name for himself some kind of way. But
wow,
yeah,
wow, wow, wow,
whatever.
wow. Yeah, yeah, more power to you, pal. Freedom of speech, but and you got freedom to be an idiot too, which I must say, I
Lots of
truly,
people take advantage of that, right? Yeah.
yeah, 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 they do, but then more power to them. Oh, and also getting back to the Ozzy, the whole what you call it, pardon me, the July 5th,
Back to the
the
beginning
kicking,
event. Yeah.
kicking, yeah, they're kicking a band out, and this has just gotten ridiculous. First off, let's get to her. Where is she? There she is. I got. Oh, oh boy! Remember how last week we showed how Sharon's face is falling apart? Finally, boy, this here is gonna be just a tragic
Right. Imagine
face.
her in 40
Imagine,
years.
oh, imagine that face falling. It's gonna fall hard, and who's gonna be there to catch it? I don't know, but yeah, that's a lot of
Her
work there, man.
boyfriend in Slipknot. Hopefully,
Oh yeah, yeah, boy. Oh
he's got
yeah.
masks laying around the house, I'm sure.
You
So
use it to
he'll be
catch her
prepared
face
right
when
there.
it
Yeah.
falls off, because that's going to be a tragic, tragic fall. Fall from face, not a fall from grace. Fall from face when that sucker goes. But oh, wow. In any case, yeah, yeah. There's been the speculation on who Sharon kicked off the concert, yeah, the July 5th festival, and boy, it's been the latest one. Megadeth was a band that they're thinking, because first it was Tool, then it was Iron Maiden, and then it was Megadeth and Kelly herself
Yeah,
established.
the
Looks like you want to say
speculation was
something,
pretty
Doc.
heavy on Megadeth, so it kind of seemed like it. But she's saying no, so
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Nope,
know.
not him. She commented directly under the post, putting an end about whatever. Why are they doing this? Why, Doc? Why, man? They don't
Again,
need to do this.
publicity, man.
They don't
You
need to
know.
do this. The thing was sold out forever, and I'm gonna get the pay-per-view. So yeah, we'll check that sucker out. But
Yeah, that's all it is now. Just is selling all those pay-per-view tickets. So yeah,
oh yeah, it's gonna be an interesting gig. I will say that. We'll give them that, doggone it. But man, oh man, what a mess Ozzy's gonna be. This is just gonna be tragic. And boy, yeah, bring that face. That's a stunning. Holy cow, boys,
you know, you
that's it.
see somebody like her that we all knew, or we didn't know personally, but we knew when she was young. I mean, we saw she was a little
Little
chubby little
chubby
girl, and
face. And,
yeah, now's had all this work done, and she doesn't even know what she looked like. She started getting work done at such a young. It's just like Kardashians and all of them. They get work done at such a young age. They don't even know what they really look like.
oh, and when
You
things
know.
start falling apart, I'm just really just shame on them all. You just leave it. If you want to, it's called working out. It's called eating right.
Yeah, that's right. Diet and
Working out.
exercise,
Boy,
man.
if you had done it right, you wouldn't look so plastic, and boy, you'd be a babe. But yeah,
Now,
that's gonna
why
that's
diet and exercise when you got money, man? You just buy some Ozempic and cut
Yeah,
off
and
some
yeah, hey
lipo or
doc,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I love some of the results though. It's really tragic. Megan, who is it? Megan Ryan. She comes to
Oh, Meg
mind.
Ryan.
Meg Ryan,
Yeah.
the sweetheart of America's sweetheart, and boy,
Oh
now
yeah.
she looks like she had Smilex from the Batman movie. It's just tragic what they
Well, she was
do.
married to John Mellencamp, so
Oh man.
that's bound to have some
Oh.
sort of trauma on a person, I suppose.
Oh, oh, I'm gonna have to leave. I'll leave that one. John, he's got his own issues. That's the thing, though. Everybody's got issues. I don't care how much money they have. John Mellencamp has the daughter who's suffering a disease. If I
Big
recall, we
time.
talked about that. So everybody's got, so you got to tread lightly for the most part. But that was a good one. But yeah, geez. Ugh. But let's move on. Oh, here's an interesting one that you brought up to me. This was, you know, Sir Rod. Where's Rod the Bod? There he is. Ooh, oof, oh, wow, watch out. Looking a little rough there. Yeesh. Oh, Rod. Headline. Headline from far out site here. Holy smokums. Rod Stewart reveals his plans to become the fastest 80-year-old in history. So wow. Yeah, we saw him what,
That's
2 years
something,
ago?
man.
2 years
That's
ago?
mind blowing.
Well, that he's trying. He's
He's
gonna
trying,
try and beat
right?
them, but
Yeah,
he's a long ways from it. Let's go.
he's a
Let's move
long way
on.
from it, but
But yeah, and we saw him a couple of years ago in concert, and he's still strutting his stuff around the
oh
stage
yeah, he
there.
still brings it for
Yeah,
sure.
had all them babes and stuff. Speaking of, oh God, can I get off topic, Doc? Permission?
Sure.
Okay, what the heck? Listen, you got what is it called? The reels on Facebook. The little snippets
Oh, right, right,
that come.
right. Like the
Are they
little
called the
TikTok
reels?
reel.
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't pay no mind. They had some line dancers. Some cool line dancing and stuff comes up, and that sort of flew by. The latest one that's come up, I don't know why, but it's South Korean baseball games. They've got cheerleaders, and it's the most unbelievable thing you'd ever seen. It's like a player strikes out. You got like five cheerleaders dressed up in skimpy outfits with garters and stuff like that, and they'll get up and do a little thing where you struck out, you dumb son of a gun, boom, boom, and then boom, they'll sit down. And if it's a
Yeah,
home
why
run,
not? You never saw cheerleaders for baseball. Why not?
Doc,
Yeah,
you
you
got to,
basketball,
I'm never
football,
going to watch another
wrestling.
American.
Why not?
I'm never going to watch another American baseball game in my life until they get. You got to see it. All you got to do is go to YouTube and search South Korean baseball cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders,
It's
sure.
insane. And they got to cheer, for somebody hits a home run. Oh my God. They got like a 1 minute thing where they're just going nuts. And they got a cheer for and I mean, you just got,
You can probably put that same
there's,
keyword in the Pornhub and get some
there's,
videos too.
it's unbelievable. I'm like, this is baseball, because they got the music going behind them and they got people behind there with the drums banging in tune and singing. It's like, geez, what,
So it's
boy,
more like football over there, yeah.
it's crazy. This is insane. I want to go over there and watch baseball.
All right.
Heck with you, American baseball. Sorry, Cubbies. Even though they're in first place, yeah. How about that? But yeah, okay. Back to subject. But it is what it is. Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart. He wants to become the fastest 80-year-old in history, and over a distance of 100 meters. Now I don't know what 100 meters is.
Well, like
You know,
100-yard dash, but 100 meters, yeah.
Currently the record for the quickest 100 meters from a person over the age of 80 belongs to Kenton Brown, who successfully ran the distance in 14.21 seconds at the Nevada Senior Games in Las Vegas last November. So 14 seconds. If that's like 100 yards, that's pretty good. That's really,
Well,
really
the big guy's doing what 9.5 or whatever, so
yeah.
that's
For
pretty
an
good,
80-year
at
old,
that
that's pretty
age.
good. But while Stewart isn't close to bettering Brown's time currently, he's working hard to put himself in a position to do so and has a running track installed at his grade 2 listed property in England. So yeah, he had his own running. Isn't that nice? to have the
He's got
money.
coaches. He's getting into the science of it. Just what angle to run. I mean, all that. Just like like you're really training, like
Wow.
for the Olympics or
He
something.
needs to
So
talk
he's
to
really getting into it. He says he don't know that he'll get there, but he's going to try. He's going to try his best to get to that point. So that just blows my mind.
that is
What
crazy.
rock stars are thinking like that at 80 years old? They're ready to hang it up. No, he's starting a new hobby. You're going to be the fastest 80-year-old ever. Not just rock star or celebrity. This ain't like
Just ever, yeah.
battle of the rock stars or whatever. This is like of mankind. Rod Stewart
Yeah.
could possibly be the fastest 80-year-old. That's
That's
mind blowing.
wild, man. I want to see a montage. Yeah. With that the music behind him doing his workouts and shit and getting ready. He better.
Do you
He
think I'm
bet.
sexy? Yeah, it'll be
Oh,
that
he's
one
got to
shit.
be a montage like Rocky.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
or was it South Park had a funny one about that, about montages. Oh man. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, good luck,
He's
Rod. Hope you make it, man.
he's putting where you put your arms and where they finish, how high you can get your heels to your bum. They could knock a second off. I'm working on that. He's in the process of learning how to push off, which he believes will help him on his quest to shave down his time.
Yeah.
Good for him at his age. Yeah, got a bunch of kids, grandkids, probably got great grandkids. That's got to be, I'd have them all there watching him. Boy, oh boy.
Seems to me you'd want to start training though when you're like 78. So like when you hit 80, you're
Yeah,
ready. You know what I mean? You don't want to start training at
good
80.
call.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
82, 83 by the time you're ready to give it a shot. And
And Sir Rod's going to be playing Glastonbury. Yeah, on June 29th. Wow, that's 6 days away, dude.
coming up
He's going
Sunday,
to
yeah.
be playing the legend slot on the pyramid stage. Wow. And they gave him, he says, it's difficult because they only gave me an hour and a half slot. So I begged them, can I do another 15 minutes? Because I usually play for 2 hours. Wow. And Stewart added, it means that there's a lot of songs that people love that I won't be able to play. And
Oh
I've
yeah, with
got
his
three
catalog.
guests coming on. So, wow.
Oh
Nonetheless,
wow.
Glastonbury, man, that's the one. That's like the biggest festival in the
Right,
world
right.
from what I can see. Good riddance. So good for him, man.
I
Good.
think it might even be in that article you're reading, but I think I read somewhere where it's probably Ron Wood is one of the guests,
Yeah, Roddy
one
Wood
of the
would be
three
one of the
guests,
guests. Good. Oh, of course.
which totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, the work Ronnie Wood did on the Rod Stewart albums, with guitar, with mandolin, with all that stuff. Mandolin
Yeah.
Win. Listen to Mandolin Win sometime. Just crazy good. So far out, man. Yeah, Glastonbury between the 27th and the 29th. So it's 4 days away. And good for them, man. That's very, very cool. I'm glad to see that. I'll tell you what, though, Doc, what I'm not glad to see is here we go. Where is she? Oh, there's that early picture of a legend. I wonder how many people would know who that is right now, Doc. What do you think?
Well,
Probably
loyal
not a.
viewers of the show would know.
Yeah. Legendary. That's a part of everybody's upbringing. You've heard so many songs she's been on. She's been on over like 10,000 plus songs, and not bands you don't know. These are all songs that, bands everybody knows. That's the thing about her. That's Carol Kay. That's a legendary member of the Wrecking Crew, which apparently she didn't like the term wrecking when it comes to crew. But come on, Carol, the wrecking, you guys, you came in and you just wrecked it. Boom, musically, you just destroyed it and you just went on your way and had hit after that. That's the way I look at a wrecking crew. They just came in and just boom, just, you know, unbelievable musician. Well, let's get to the headline from Fire Out. Carol Kay rejects the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. Yeah, oh boy, I don't agree with this, Doc, and I'll tell you why in a little bit here. Let me read a little bit. Carol Kay has revealed that she will not be accepting her quote musical excellence award at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In April, she'll be included in the class of 2025 alongside the White Stripes, Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Cindy Lauper, Soundgarden, Outcast, Salt and Pepper, Warren Zevon, Tom Bell, Nicky Hopkins, and Lenny Waronker. But however, she won't be in attendance for the ceremony, and she explains her reasoning in a lengthy social media post. So let me get a drink here before I move on. Oh, this I see it both ways, Doc. I want to talk about that.
Yeah, same here.
She says, people have been asking, no, I won't be there. She wrote on Facebook on June 18th. I am declining the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Awards show and Denny Tedesco process, turning it down because it wasn't something that reflects the work that studio musicians do and did in the golden era of the 60s recording hits. And yeah, and of course, it says Kay, who was a member of the prolific Wrecking Crew throughout the 60s and 70s, emphasized that the recording she contributed to was part of a team effort, writing, "You are always part of a team, not a solo artist at all. There were always 350 to 400 studio musicians, uh, 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 American Federation of Musicians Local 47 Hollywood, working in the busy 1960s and called that only since 1930s. So, and then she criticized the name Wrecking Crew. I was never a wrecker at all. That's a terrible, insulting name. Gosh, chill out. Chill out, Toots. Gosh, man.
Yeah, by the way,
Come.
she's 90 now. She
Yeah.
she's quite elderly. She's 90, so
Yeah. And then it just goes through her career. You know, she started as a jazz musician, a jazz guitarist. Well, is that, she got a guitar there or a bass? I can't tell. But she was a jazz guitarist to start with, and then they needed a bass player didn't show up at a session, and so she jumped on the precision bass, and the rest is history. She said just the fact that she was a jazz musician, she didn't just play the normal things that the fill-in basses were playing. You know, she
right.
jazz musicians make their own melody basically, and the rest is history. Yeah,
Yeah, her
like
bass lines, like I said, anything through the 60s you've heard. Definitely anything by the Beach Boys, definitely anything by the Monkees, hundreds of other groups.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it was
Ten
ours.
thousand songs. You figure that would be, if there was 10 songs to an album, which was common back then. That's like
Yeah, 1,000
playing
albums.
every song on 1,000 albums,
Yeah.
and so many of them were hits. You can't even go through them. I mean, it'd take hours to go through her discography. But I see your point, but I don't. I mean, how many of the Wrecking Crew are still with us? I mean, geez, they got to be
Can't be many.
Glenn Campbell's gone. Tommy Tedesco's gone. You know, a lot of them are gone. And
Hal
boy,
Blaine's, he's still around. I think he's still around, maybe.
is he? I
I'm
don't
not
know,
sure.
dude. I
I don't
don't
really
think
know,
they
but
are. She's a rarity, and boy, she should, gosh, accept it with. I don't know for what she's done. I mean, she's part of everybody's. If you're my age, 69, dude. You know, you grew up with a ton of her music all over the transistor radio, and boy, I hope she better have a grant. She better have a honor. So, is this her first time being honored, or
yeah, as far as Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But yeah, just so
oh,
people get the idea why the session musicians were so prominent back then, because studio time was expensive, and they didn't want to waste time having the monkeys trying to learn the song in the studio. They'd bring in these session musicians that knock it out in a take or two,
damn.
and then boom, they'd move on. I mean, it was a commodity almost, and just not assembly line, just knocking it out. So, and I see your point. It's kind of in a weird category where she's not a solo artist. It's not like, when bands go in, you don't just say, all right, I don't know, pick any band, the Stones, you don't say, okay, just Mick and Keith are going in. The rest of the guys aren't going in. No, you put the whole band in. So I get, but the Wrecking Crews was such a loose knit kind of a thing. I mean, yeah, you got your core folks, I guess, but maybe that's who they could put in. Maybe, I don't know. But
Boy, I don't.
yeah, it's kind of a
It's,
weird kind of
it's a weird
situation she's
situation, but
in.
at the
But
same time, it's not like somebody else laid down all them licks on that 10,000 songs. I mean,
yeah,
it's
no,
her
it's being
talent. She should
yeah
be. She
definitely
should be. I don't.
recognized
I
for her
know she was part
contribution.
of a
Sure.
crew. Yeah, she's part of a crew, but at the same time, her individual talent. That deserves recognition. That deserves. She deserves to own the damn Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for crying out loud. My gosh, really? Wow. Who else has had
Well,
such a profound? Who's played on so really? She's one of a rare breed
what
that have
the
played on
drummer guy,
so many.
Purdy. What the hell's his first name?
Ah,
Escaping me now. Shit. Anyway, Purdy's last name. He's been on more records than anybody. But yeah, maybe that's what this category is for side people. So I think she should take it. I mean, I don't know, making a stand for the rest of them's kind of cool, but
yeah, at your
and
age,
also too, I
accept
think
it.
the Hall of Fame's been they've been kind of under fire recently for lack of women represented in the Hall of Fame. So
Ah,
she's definitely one that's deserving and should have
oh,
been a while back. So
sure,
I'm
sure.
sure. I think it's gonna be. Remember, Dolly turned it down because she didn't consider herself rock and roll, and they talked her into it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we saw here. I wouldn't be surprised if they talk her into it. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, it makes
Yeah.
sense. My gosh, the stuff she's played on, she's
Because the
just
only
crazy.
ones that have out and out refused is the Sex Pistols, man. They're the only ones that didn't show up. So
No,
we'll
we're not
see.
gonna
Will she
be
be in the
there.
class with
No
the Sex
way.
Pistols? We'll see.
Yeah, the Queen's a fashion regime, man. But in any case, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right, moving on. Yeah, got an interesting story here about the not about the Fab Four, but about the Fab Four Kitties. There they are, right there. Oh my gosh. Oof. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. Obviously, that's Paul McCartney's kid on the left there. That's John Lennon's in the center. And oof, there's Zach Starkey, Ringo. Wow. Whoa. They're looking rough, but at the same time, they've teamed up for a new song, Doc. Holy smokes. This is from Britpop News. Britpop News, by golly. Sean Ono, yeah. Sean Ono Lennon, James McCartney, and Zach Starkey have joined forces for the new track, Rip Off, the latest release from Starkey's supergroup, Mantra of the Cosmos. Question, Doc. If they're a supergroup, how come I've never heard of them?
Right. Well, it's
How
a super group. Who says super? It's Zach Starkey's band, and McCartney and Lennon are featured on the song. They're not full time in the band. The rest of the band are from what do we got here? Bez Berry and Sean Ryder from Happy Mondays. They were kind of part of that Manchester sound back with
huh?
like Jesus Jones and those guys. Which I always thought there should have been a cover band for Jesus Jones named Satan Smith. What do you think?
Oh, Doc.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Who
And
didn't
then
know that?
from Oasis, Andy Bell. So I guess that's where they say it's a super group. They got guys
Oh,
from Happy Mondays and Oasis,
wow.
and anytime you got Zach Starkey, it's a super group right there, I guess.
I
But
guess. Well,
yeah,
yeah.
Rip Off. I don't know if that's the old T Rex song Rip Off or something new, but
I was wondering the same thing, Doc. Good call. Wow. Yeah. It's a ripoff. Dun, dun.
yeah,
I think I got that album. Is that on
yeah,
his
that's on Electric Warrior. Yeah, you
I
got
got
that.
that album. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I'll be darned. Yeah. I was wondering the same thing. Not sure, but I'm sure it's just gonna be incredible. Music's in such a shit spot right now, Doc. This really sucks. It really sucks. It's really sad. Holy cow, it just is. It's in a bad spot, and I don't know what to do about it. But I tell you, and when we get back to Zach here, Zach Starkey here, we've all talked about how
You know what?
Ringo.
Before we let that go, you'll
Okay,
notice no Danny Harrison, which I don't know, why he didn't want to be part of it. Why not get George's kid in there? But yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Anyway,
oh boy. Well, my page just refreshed and I lost the article. But in any case, Ringo's not happy about the Who firing his son Zach. And Ringo said, he's ticked off. He calls Roger Daltrey a little man and says he never liked the way he was running the Who. So apparently, Daltrey was a big jerk forever or whatever. I don't know, man. Yeah. Seems like the more we hear about the Who, the more we hear of what a train wreck it was. Man, oh man, oh man. So Ringo's, he's the here we go. They call him the eternal spokesman for peace and love. Where is he? Oh, I got him. Where is he? I think I got him. There he is. Peace and love, Mr. Peace and Love. Yeah. Yeah. Spokesman for Peace and Love apparently draws the line at that little man from the Who is what he calls it. In the latest twist of the Zach Starkey rock soap opera, booted from the Who, rejected by Oasis in a timing deal. Dear old dad didn't hold back, reportedly telling his son he's never liked the way Roger Daltrey runs the band. Zach, ever the British rock casualty, shrugged it off, calling the Who the maddest band there's ever been. Says here somewhere Keith Moon is smiling. Oh wow. Holy cow, man. Yeah, I would side with Ringo on this, I guess, you know. Jeez.
I'm what I'm learning from this. I'm surprised at how much pull Daltrey has. I thought Townsend called all the shots.
He did all the writing and stuff.
Yeah, I mean he was
Yeah.
definitely all the creative, part of it. So yeah, you think he? But
Here's a
I'm surprised how much Daltrey's got to say about things.
here's a good comment. Seeing as the how both Sir Ringo and Sir Roger are knights, shouldn't this be settled with swords? Yeah.
Some jousting, maybe.
Some
Yeah.
jousting, yes. Yar jousting, sure. Holy cow. That wow. Oh boy. I guess. But yeah, there you go. There's the weekly Who soap opera stuff coming up. And here we go, Doc. Holy smokums. Where is he? Ah, there
I
he
wonder
is.
too. Oh, go ahead. That's all right. That
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
not that
Yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah. Well, Dr. Demento. We all know Dr. Demento. My
Doctor
gosh.
Demento.
Dr. Demento. And he's still been on he's been on the internet, but he's out of here. He's after his retirement. He's announced his retirement after 55 years on the air. Wow. So yeah, this started out in October 1970. I was just a youngster, just getting into high school there on KPPC in LA and later K Rock. And then it was syndicated in 74. Yes, the year I graduated. It continued on radio until 2010 when he went digital, went online. So he's been online since 2010, and now he's calling it a career. Geez, he's 84 years old. But man, oh man, wow. What a wacky time he had, huh?
He sounded like an old guy back in the '70s, man, like the late '70s. I used to listen to him early '80s and stuff. But yeah, he used to be on the loop at Sunday nights, 10 o'clock. He'd be on for a couple of hours, whatever. All these wacky records from the '30s and '40s and stuff,
The
and of
Monster
course he
Mash.
introduced the world to Weird Al.
Weird Al. Weird Al owes
Yeah,
him his career. Yeah, the
yeah.
Monster Mash shaving cream, fish heads, introduced artists such as Bobby Boris
Fish heads,
heads,
roly poly
only
fish
fish
heads,
heads.
eat 'em up. Yum.
Bobby Boris Pickett, Benny Bell, Barnes and Barnes, Spike Jones. Like I say, Frank Zappa in the future is going to be considered the Spike Jones of our times. Jimmy Durante,
I hope not.
Nervous Norvis. Ah, good old Nervous
He did the
Norvis.
song Transfusion.
Alan
Transfusion.
Sherman, of course,
Slip me the crimson, Jimson. Yeah.
Stan Freberg, many others. I'll be darned. Yeah. So he'd been at it a long time. And his final broadcasts will consist of archived material ending in a top 40 of novelty songs on precisely the 55th anniversary of his first show. Wow. It's been a blast, but I have come to the decision that I need to hang up my top hat soon. More power to you, man. Wow. We need people, we need quirky people like that in the world. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, yeah. And Weird Al Yankovic, yeah. Yeah. First appeared on 76. 76. So another one rides a
Another one
bus
rides the bus. Is
and
that the first one?
My
And My
Bologna with
Bologna.
the neck, yeah, Queen of Neck.
I love
And
Rocky Roads. That was what like his first three there.
But yeah, that got him going. So man, and he got a Dr. Demento has a master's degree in ethnomusicology. That's one word. That's great. That's very cool. And he said, no hard or fast rules. He just wanted what he did. One song would lead to another, and his audience reactions determined what he did. Yeah, so he found a real niche. And more power to him. I ain't heard him in decades, so I didn't know he was even
No,
online. Didn't know where he was or anything. But wow, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at that in the digital world that he wasn't out there, Doc. That's sort of wow, and like our
yeah, I was
best
surprised that
good
he was still going, but
you know, best kept secret or something. But more power to you, Dr. Demento. Good job, Dr. Pimento or Dr.
his
Dementia.
real name is Barrett Hansen.
My God, I'm bad.
Barrett
I
Hansen.
should have been a lawyer, but
Right?
aristocrat at the very least. So yeah, very cool on him, man. Far off, another legend. Boom, bites the dust. But yeah, this show's about to bite the dust. The heat's going nuts here. About still 93 degrees in beautiful northern Illinois. Ugh, jeez. And it's going to be hot all week. I mean, it's going to be crazy hot. So, my ladies will like it, but I'm not going to dig it. But it is what it is. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, yeah, we'll do it again next week, as Doc would say, and I'll let him say it. So take it away, Doc. Boom.
Yeah, yeah, pretty good show this week. Wouldn't mind if you shared this one, folks. You could
Yeah,
although I don't have my normal background, but hey, we adapt. We adapt. The weather messes
yeah,
with you. You gotta zig when they zag.
that's right.
I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, next week we'll see what they have, man. There'll be more on the Sabbath show, no doubt, and the following week will be definitely more on the Sabbath show because it will have happened.
Ooh,
And we'll see what else. Who would have thought Rod Stewart was so speedy at 80 years old? But
wow. 14
that's good
second.
stories this week. I love that one and then the Carol K one. All of them. I loved all the stories this week. So
Good.
hope you guys did too. And we'll see you next week. Until then, have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody.